Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Token Metrics Market Update. Now, we get to begin with the fun stuff. The word in legacy finance is capitulation. This is where people who have been negative on a market reverse themselves. Now, for anybody who's been in crypto, you'll be familiar with, FUD appearing at the top of rallies, sometimes related to China, right? Like China's going to ban Bitcoin, or China thinks it's no good, or et cetera, right? So we have two pieces of capitulation here that I think are important. On the left, we've got Chinese state television. Let me say that again. State television, according to this person, cited that Bitcoin is actually maybe a little better than gold, and the rise in Bitcoin is actually hurting physical gold. Okay. So rather than having FUD coming out of China, we're having Bitcoin positive news come out. And I think that's an underrated piece of news. Now, on the right, we've got a guy, Ray Dalio, from the biggest hedge fund, Bridgewater, right? He's a flexible thinker, okay? And he's turning himself around. Now, when a guy like this turns himself around with 2 or 3 weeks left to go in the year, it matters. And here's why. One, he's got to have Bitcoin on his books, all right? But that may not be the biggest development, all right? I think one of the reasons why I decided to don the hoodie is that it may be the start of altcoin season when a guy this big has to get in, right? Because now there's insurance companies, Michael Saylor, all right? 15 billion worth of cryptos now under management, right? And a guy like Dalio may have to come in and they may have to start buying other coins, particularly Ethereum. So huge players have piled in. And on the right, we've got this guy, Saylor. This guy borrows $440 million, basically at zero interest, and then releases a statement quoted below that he's going to put in Bitcoin, right? Now, what's really funny is in the equities world, because MicroStrategy is, after all, a software company, analysts are downgrading the stock. They're downgrading MicroStrategy stock, saying Saylor is too focused on crypto. I said, well, that's fascinating. Companies don't get upgraded or downgraded because they move from dollars or euro or the yen or even gold. So isn't it funny that the banks, from long crypto, short the banks fame, the banks are telling people to get off the MicroStrategy bandwagon, when if you look at the chart on the right, there was a big gap up in MicroStrategy stock, came back down, fill the gap, and there's a candlestick there indicating that buyers showed up. All right. There's this whole idea, okay, particularly since, we've gotten inquiries from the media and they're asking us, well, hey, how come every time it goes down to, just below 18,000, Bitcoin pops right back up again? Well, folks, it's very simple. You have all these huge players taking Bitcoin away from market makers, right? So for every buyer, there's a seller. For every long, there's a short. So these guys who take all this Bitcoin out of the market maker has to turn around and buy it back. So every time it goes down, anybody who was, required to sell at 19 is going to be a very enthusiastic buyer at 18. That's why things come back quickly. Now, let's get to something a little bit more serious. Frequently on the show, there's always an edgy, outside the box idea. Because good research requires imagination, we appreciate you tuning in and we want to give you the best. We want you to know things before you read about it in the newspaper. Now, couple things to note. One, the virus has sort of dropped to zero in Australia. Now, that's great for our friends down under, but how did they do that? How did they get that done? Well, they had a very, very strict lockdown, right? I mean, if you got close to somebody at the beach, you were greeted by a police officer. It was extremely medieval. We had a show guest on from Australia once, and it was breathtaking to hear him tell stories about how strictly they locked down Australia. Okay. So I guess the good news is that, the Sydney Opera House opened and they had 40,000 people. So what does this mean for crypto? Well, the COVID vaccine in the United States is not going to be available for the general public until April at the earliest, because they got to do all the healthcare workers and all the elderly. Now, we have a new administration coming in with United States virus numbers just spiraling higher. Here's a question. What happens if Joe Biden has to shut down America, not for 4 weeks, but for 4 months? What happens if he has to shut the economy down until the vaccine is available for the public to stop the stress in the hospital system? I don't think anyone is asking that question at this point. But I think you have to, because there's a ton of evidence it worked in Australia. And there's this tagline, like, they followed the science. Well, folks, that's not just rhetoric anymore. They've got evidence. And sadly, okay, social disorder has started in Washington, D.C. All right. Counter protesters and protesters are fighting each other on the streets with people getting hurt. That's what's happening now at the holiday season. Can you imagine what it looks like after 4 weeks or 4 months? So why am I telling you all this? Because, folks, if I know this and you know this, the Fed and the ECB know this. And they are going to have to push money into the system with reckless abandon to try to stabilize the economy, maintain optics in financial markets, and make sure that large corporations and even small businesses don't go bankrupt. And this is a huge boom to crypto, because crypto is the future of money. And in sum, closing America down and having the Fed just helicopter money is not only, it's not a health issue. The government may consider it a national security issue. Okay. So if there's talk of a much longer lockdown, crypto goes up. All right. And I think now is the time to be buying crypto, okay, anticipating these events going forward. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin market cap on a weekly basis. So this is Bitcoin market cap, keep in mind. So it's total number of coins times price. So obviously that's going to be a little bit higher than in 2017 because there's more Bitcoin has been mined since then. And what you'll see on the chart where the blue arrow is naturally Bitcoin and Bitcoin market cap come down right to what was the old 2017 high. And then Bitcoin, of course, bounces right back up again. Okay. Not rocket science, classic technical analysis. Okay. People want Bitcoin, and here's evidence of it beyond, the stuff I showed you on MicroStrategy. Okay. Now, this is a futures contract. This is BitMEX, just showing you like a tactical picture. So we're here in mid-December, and right here we see stochastics turning up. Okay. So everyone out there who maybe missed it at 18K and is like, oh God, I missed it. Because I know that's what you're thinking. I know it, right? That's why I put the hoodie on, to get everyone's attention. So it's not too early. It's not too late. Stochastics are just starting to turn up, and this move may be just starting. Ethereum market cap. Okay. Folks, again, Ethereum market cap goes down, hits a major point from back in 2018. That's the blue arrow. Okay. And this is a weekly chart, right? So this this analysis is going to have some shelf life. So when you see ETH market cap holding, okay, near this level around, I believe it's 661 billion, okay? ETH is set up to attack its high, both in market cap and in price. Now let's go to price. When you see ETH have a weekly close above 600, it's very simple. There's no resistance until 1300. That's why there's been such a battle at 600, in my opinion. Okay, now on this topic of I missed it, or, you know, I didn't get it on the dip. So let's look at altcoin market cap and recap what has happened in the last couple days. Alts flush lower, all of them, right? You know, small ones, big ones, Dash, all of them. And what alts did was they blew through their 21-day moving average, right? And in classic fashion, this is very, very typical from equities. They flush everybody lower, everyone gets out, and then as it turns, if the instrument in question, which here is altcoin market cap, can climb above its 21-day moving average, it could start a bullish cascade, all right, where it breaks, you know, 207, it breaks 215 billion, and then it goes to say 287. So altcoins are set up for strength breeds strength, okay? And I know that you may have felt like you missed it, but you haven't. In fact, I would argue in alts, it hasn't even started. Chainlink, the Link Marines hold $12. I looked at this and I said, I wonder if this is people giving up in Chainlink. If people just finally said, I can't do it anymore. And as it turns out, that's exactly what happened. And the Link Marines saved it at 12. Okay. Now, if people really did give up in Chainlink, then Chainlink should start leading the market and moving towards 20. I think one of the reasons why Chainlink was stuck is that people were actually, you know, holding on to their longs, and you didn't see that frustrated give up trade, which we've talked about on the show before. So in Chainlink, I think, you know, some traders gave up. The Link Marines were there at 12. I'll bet the Chainlink people themselves were there at 12, and it's set to go higher. Now, drum roll, right? XRP. Everyone said that when they did this airdrop, that XRP was going to totally crash. And really, technically, XRP has just retested this 50 cents to 53 cents level that was very, you know, very important back in September of 2018 and in the summer of 2019. So there was no XRP crash. If anything, XRP went to retest a resistance line that now has become support. So the longer XRP sits above 50 cents, the more likely it is that it turns around and goes to 80. I continue to believe XRP is a part of the future of money. I don't think it's a coin that people can disregard or frankly make fun of anymore. Okay. It's a fast blockchain network. Okay. It's money, and it's backed by a corporation that has relationships in the financial system. Stellar, a somewhat similar story. All right. In terms of breakout and retest. All right. Stellar makes a teacup and handle formation. The yellow section is the teacup, and the handle is just that part that we saw recently over the last, say, 10 weeks. Again, this is a weekly chart. So there's a huge breakout to the upside, and then it comes down, retests a very important level from 2019 and bounces. Now, this is also super important because you can't believe how many altcoins are out there. UMA, okay, Band. We published like 15 of these charts. This formation is everywhere in altcoins. So the fact that Stellar broke out, came back, and held, to me, this is sending a huge bullish signal across the crypto market. Let's look at another frustrating trade, Dash, okay? I think this is a part of the future of money. This chart is one of the reasons why. It's got what's called a huge diamond formation, which can create very powerful moves. All right, and what Dash has done is it broke out. It made me think it was going to 200. And then what did it do? It comes down, flushes everybody out. But really, all that's happened is that it tests 92, the top of the diamond line. Okay. So by flushing lower the way it did, okay, Dash just did a simple retest of the top of a very important formation. And at the end of the day, I think Dash can go to 200, right? It's probably going to take 1 or 2 days to build up the steam, but I think this is a huge move coming. Okay. Speaking of huge moves, okay, Litecoin. All right, Litecoin. I'm just not going to shut up about Litecoin. I swear. This chart shows that if Litecoin can achieve a weekly close above 80, okay, so this is the 4th week of the battle at 80 in Litecoin. If Litecoin can take out 80, I don't see any diagonal point that can stop Litecoin, right? It's on PayPal. It's optics. It looks like cheap, fast Bitcoin. So if everything is breaking out, if alt market cap, like we talked about earlier, is going to explode, I don't see any reason why Litecoin can't go from 80 to 220. Now, again, let me rein myself in and say, okay, maybe Litecoin is just meant to sit at 80. Maybe that's just where it belongs. I don't think so, but I don't see this falling apart with Bitcoin being purchased by all the big players, ETH having the potential to double, people buying the dip in Ripple. I think there's big upside here. Now let's talk DeFi. All right, Yearn. These lines I've got on the chart, it's a parallel channel. So both of those upward sloping lines are parallel. And it looks like Yearn, it's been winding it up, winding it up, winding it up. It goes down, it hits the 38% retracement of its larger move up. More importantly, Yearn showed up before this rally in a lot of our day trading portfolios. This was in the all exchange portfolio along with Uniswap and I believe Aave for 4 or 5 days. Okay. And you got 4K in price appreciation off that. And I think this is a hodl out to 36K. All right. And if it dips, I think it's probably going to be limited to just 26K on the dip. So I think there's 10K in upside in Yearn. Okay. Uni. Now, I have not seen this in quite some time. Everybody may know or have heard of a head and shoulders top pattern. Okay. In essence, a head and shoulders top is 3 attempts by a market to go higher. When the 3rd attempt fails, okay, a substantial decline follows. Now, when the head and shoulders is triggered, sometimes in equities, you make the most money you make the most money when the pattern gets triggered, the read becomes bearish, and then the market suddenly reverses and effectively breaks the pattern or unwinds the bearish read. And this is what looks like it happened in Uni. It looks like they ran all the stops. They pushed everybody out when it went through 3.25. It went down to 3. They push everyone out and then they rally. And I think Uni, if Uni is above 329, it's going to go to 5. Okay. And I think you're going to have to wait to see if Uni can actually make a couple daily closes above that level at 329. But let's face it, folks, Yearn's not going up 10K and Uni's sitting at 3.5. All right. So DeFi is ready to go. And again, back to the earlier slides, lockdowns, social disorder, the Fed pushing money into the system, that coincided with DeFi 1.0. So DeFi 2.0 may just be starting. Now, I like to throw this in, Kusama. Okay, I call this working Polkadot. It's a clone. It's the Litecoin of DeFi. People wanted this when it went down, right? This went to 64 and it came back to a support point at 44 on a trend line and bounced. So if they're looking for Kusama, if they're looking for Litecoin, speculative juices in crypto, they're out there. And the dip buyers and the smart money may be looking out, say 4 or 5 months to April and going, yeah, I want this. Okay. Tezos shows up in some of our portfolios, like a 6 to 7% allocation. Dip buyers have showed up. And again, this is a classic token metrics story. Where do I get these ideas from? Which chart do I know what to look at? Okay. XRP showed up in the Coinbase day trading portfolio. Tezos showed up in the all exchanges day trading portfolio. And this structure, this stop, start, or an Elliott wave, a series of 1s and 2s, means that, you could have buyers in Tezos, which again that's a big altcoin. So there's a lot of indications that the big coins want to take off. Now, small coins, let's talk about it. Folks, I'm going to go out on a limb. I think VeChain, if there's a catalyst, I just think this wave count is so favorable that VeChain could go up a lot. Like, believe it or not, to me, this could be a moon candidate if there's a news item. Because this stop-start process that VeChain does, and given that it's not a real high-cap coin, right? And if the DeFi revolution is going to take off, as I recall, VeChain was one of the leaders on the first DeFi run. Like, it was one of the first coins to move. So I'm going to go back and play it again here. I'm going to say I like VeChain. All right. That's the market update. Ian, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. That was a great update. So let's take some comments here from people. If you like that market update, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, share this video to the crypto family. David says, is a head and shoulders better than a cup and handle?
A head and shoulders bottom and a cup and handle are similar. Cup and handle can be better because it's actually much more rare and more old school.
All right. Then Awoken says Dash is real nice. BTC's little brother. Then Seaball says, I just want XRP to get back above 57 cents. And then LL says 60 cents and I'll be happy. Crypto Air CK says, I like Dash better than Litecoin. All right. So tell us what you think about the market update down below. Somebody says, looking to buy Ethereum. Is this a good entry point? I mean, we can't tell you what to do per se, but I mean, I think as Bill mentioned, Ethereum is looking very, very bullish at around 600. And we think it can possibly go all the way back to all-time high and above. Bill?
All right. So this is a very important question because people are new to crypto, right? They get it, they arrive, and then they're like, okay, what do I do now? I would say if I did not have a position and I needed to do something, I would say put small amounts of capital into things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the larger coins. It'll help you laser focus on the price action in that coin, and it'll give you a level of gratification if it breaks out. But if you put a small enough amount in, you can experience what it's like to have crypto go against you. You know, everyone says, I don't mind losing $500 until they've lost $500 on their screen. So getting involved in Ethereum when it's below 600 is a good way to test your risk tolerance and help you focus on the price so that if there is a breakout, you'll have more confidence to be able to jump in and take advantage. Because as we say on the show, you have to earn the right to take risk, right? You want to buy something and then have it go your way. And then after it goes your way, then you want to add to your position. You just don't want to put the rent money in right away. So an important word there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you like those market updates, be sure to subscribe to tokenmetrics.com. Go there. We have discounted trials. You can subscribe for 1 week trial for $2 or $5 for the investor plan or the professional plan. And then I would say probably over half of our customers join the annual plan, because if you join the annual plan, you get 3 months free. So definitely be sure to take advantage of that. Thank you to everybody who joined during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We had our best week ever, and to show thank you, we have lots of things coming up. We're actually thinking of doing a customer webinar this month to all the new customers to welcome them on board. So stay tuned for that. Probably will be maybe near Christmas. And then for those of you who still haven't had the chance to subscribe yet, don't worry. We feel very, what's the word? We're in the holiday spirit mood, right? So happy Hanukkah to anybody out there who's doing Hanukkah. Happy holidays. We have Christmas coming up. We have New Year's coming up. So we plan to have some new promotions between Christmas and New Year's, basically our 2020 promotion. So stay tuned. It won't be quite as good as the Black Friday Cyber Monday promotion, but for those people who maybe missed the boat, don't worry, we'll give you something, right? So be sure to check us out.